Can you hear my song? Can you hear my song? Can you hear?
Hello my beautiful co-creators, Lilou here. Today I'm at the Chi Center on a Juicy Living tour and I found a juicy lady that recovered from Parkinson's disease. Wow, this is so awesome to meet somebody that freed themselves up from such a very, how would you qualify even this disease?
I said my body was in prison.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like more and more.
Wow, so now you feel free.
Very free. The butterfly is out of the cocoon, has sprung, and is soaring.
Wow. And this is thanks to Qigong, because actually this weekend we were at this retreat, Qigong retreat, sound healing with Mick Dong, that I will be interviewing also today. Through those practices, it has literally changed your life. So let's first back up. Tell us about the Parkinson's disease. What is it?
It is a movement disorder, and so parts of the body that you would expect to move freely do not, and parts of the body that you would want to be still are not. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of other things going on with the autonomic nervous system that the general public probably wouldn't know about or see of somebody with Parkinson's.
So when you were diagnosed Parkinson, how long ago was that, first of all?
It was in April of 2008. And at the time of diagnosis, it was determined that I had probably had the disease for 6 or 7 years prior because of all the other symptoms I had had that I didn't realize were part of Parkinson's, that I had just been dealing with.
So then they put you on heavy medicine, huh?
I was put on the dopamine drug Sinemet 3 times a day, Sinemet 25-100, 3 times a day. And then when I was still having problems, I was given the drug Requip XL also on top of that. And I could have upped the dosage of the medication when things got even worse. I was turning a corner, it was getting worse, and I could have upped the dosage and really didn't want to do that. And that's exactly when Qigong came into my life.
Wow. And you were staying there in bed or in your couch for hours, really, your brain. You were not living a very juicy life, was it?
No, I was trying to keep my brain busy reading and researching everything I could about Parkinson's, which is actually how I came across Qigong the first time, read about it. And what I had read said that all kinds of exercise are good for Parkinson's, but that Qigong is the best. And I didn't even know what Qigong was, and it took months for me to find it.
So what is Qigong for you? How do you see it now?
I see it as my spiritual being brought home. Before anything physical or anything else, that's all very nice that I was healed from Parkinson's, and that's wonderful, and I'm eternally grateful. But I feel that the place where I was born as a child, that mystical, wonderful place that very often the conscious world makes us push aside, I've returned. And I feel very much at home being myself and being in touch with the higher consciousness, which is bringing fulfillment through me.
You have so much peace and love and joy emanating out of you. Do you think that has anything to do with you recovering from Parkinson's?
I think the confidence that was always there has now sort of birthed, and yes, I do. I know that I have this spiritual source that I can tap into, and I'm never alone.
This is so different than how we're raised, huh? This is so different. What did you have to overcome to kind of let go and just allow yourself to be healed through this method? Because I guess as a patient, you have a big part of responsibility in your own healing. Not just the method. The method can work or cannot work depending on what is your attitude towards it. No?
Do you mean how did I succeed in Qigong?
Yeah.
I think that my higher consciousness was always there. I remember having a conversation with my stepmother, and she asked me how I was doing, and I usually tried to keep up a really positive image because I really wanted to put out positive messages for my own good as well. But every once in a while I'd get honest with somebody in the family, and I said, well, it's not getting any better. This disease only goes in one direction. And right after I said that, something inside of me said, that's wrong, and you know it's wrong. And I didn't forget that I had gotten that message somewhere from myself, but from some part of myself that I didn't know. And I think that was a very strong message that I brought with me to Qigong. And so the minute I started the first practice of Lift Chi Up, Pour Chi Down, I started feeling some relief from the pain of Parkinson's. And I think that it's, and then just from there, that belief just got stronger and stronger.
So how did that healing progress? It started slowly, and then you started immediately seeing something, and then slowly you were saying that you got rid of those medicines, huh?
Yeah, it was rather dramatic in that June 19th, 2009 was my first Qigong weekend. And then and I started feeling relief right away. And within 6 or 7 weeks, I was off all Parkinson's medications, both the drugs, and still had some tremor and some of the symptoms, but they were really abating. And how I got myself off the medication was that I started to forget. And at first, I was panicked. Oh, I forgot to take my medication. Then I thought, wait a minute. My body used to remind me by tremoring, by hurting. It's not reminding me. Maybe my body's telling me I don't need it. So I gradually got myself off the medication.
This is so amazing. You're a living miracle.
Like I said, like Einstein said, either everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. And I always chose to believe that everything's a miracle.
So it was interesting because at some point he told you, the teacher said, well, you have to do 3 hours, right? Are you committed to do 3 hours? What was your response to that?
My first response was, at first I thought, oh, this Qigong is great. I can do this lift you up, port you down half-hour day, and I'm going to feel good. And then when I heard 3 hours, actually the steam started coming from my ears, and I was like, I didn't sign up for this. 3 hours a day. But then I settled down for a few minutes, and I thought, wait, this is a no-brainer. What's better, 3 hours a day of Qigong, and then I go on with the rest of my life, or 12 hours on the sofa feeling terrible and getting worse? So that was, yes. Yeah. And the 3 hours fits into my life beautifully.
And I bet it has transformed not just your health, but so many different aspects of your life, huh?
Absolutely. Everything seems to be going better for me. And as I said, recently Ming Tong related the Qigong belief system with the law of attraction, and I see that connection very strongly. And in recent weeks, I've really seen it come into play. So yes,
So you're saying you're attracting wonderful, juicy things in your life?
Yes, yes, exactly. And every day is more exciting than the next. Whoever thought that a retired person would be having so much fun, and a person who was supposed to be retired and sick.
You have like a second chance, huh?
Yeah.
So now you're giving this back to others.
Any way that I can, I would love to give it back. There's, anybody who can come to Qigong and find their health and restoration. Yes.
Yeah. So you practice how long now? What's your daily kind of routine with Qigong? Do you still do it?
Yeah. Oh, obviously. Yeah, I'll do it for the rest of my life. And I practice a minimum of 3 hours a day if I'm not working. I did retire from teaching earlier than I had planned because of the Parkinson's, and I still have some teaching in my system. So I go in and substitute teach and love it. And on days when I'm working, 2 hours a day of Qigong, and then I get in more if I can. But I was telling Celine that I also bring Qigong into the classroom with me and set up a Qi field. I try to get there early and set up a Qi field. And I'm having a great time substitute teaching, and most substitute teachers unfortunately don't have that much fun. So
how do you do that with others in your classroom?
Well, I try to get there early so that when no one is there, I'm working with the Qi and doing practice. Yeah. And then there are subtle ways of when the students are working, I'm walking around their desks and I'm emitting Qi and taking in Qi through the ways that I learned from Ming Tong in terms of La Qi and Fa Qi, different forms of the Qigong practice.
Wonderful. And tell us finally, what do you want to say to people that have Parkinson's or other diseases that right now traditional medicine have not found a solution to? I mean, what's your message? What's your calling?
My message is, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. My message is that there is hope and that the answer is within you and that you have the strength. And I wish you all the best. Haola.
Haola. Thank you so much, Bianca. Isn't she so juicy, my beautiful co-creators? This is another juicy story. There's so many of these, and this is their solution. There's really wonderful things happening in the world.
Thank you so much. I feel so relieved. Getting out there.
Much love. Awesome. Well done. Yay! That was awesome.
I'm sending this message through the heart of mine, connecting to that special place where my heart is open space. Can you hear my song? Can you hear my song? Desire to control and form is fading away like a peaceful storm. Gentle wind is blowing inside, melting hardness. Just the sweetness of love will survive. The sweetness of love will be my guide. Can you hear my song? Can you hear my song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm your
song? Have you noticed I'm taking a stronger stand for myself? Have you noticed it's necessary for my survival and my health? Have you noticed something inside of you change every day? Have you noticed only ignorance stand in your way? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Those who choose to look the other way, to ignore me, they'll continue to be surprised by the impact on their lives. Have you noticed I'm taking a stronger stand for myself? Have you noticed your heart will lead your way? There'll be no more. The earth is at your service. A new thinking will be. How can I serve? How can I respect? How can I serve the earth? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother, earth, I'm your mother.
Can you hear? I'm sending this message through the heart of mine, connecting to that special place where my heart is open space. Can you hear my song? Can you hear my song? Desire to control and form is fading away like a peaceful storm. Gentle wind is blowing inside, melting hardness. Just the sweetness of love will survive. Have you noticed? I'm taking a stronger stand for myself. Have you noticed? It's necessary for my survival and my health. Have you noticed? Something inside of you change every day. Have you noticed? Only ignorance stand in your way. Can you hear
I'm your mother earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
mother earth, I'm
my
your
song? Can you hear
I'm your mother earth, I'm your
my song?